All right, the Department of Justice launched a criminal investigation into former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a person familiar with the matter telling NBC News there are questions surrounding Cuomo's testimony to Congress last year about his handling of nursing home patients during the early months of the pandemic.
The Democrat who stepped down as governor in 2021 is currently running for mayor of New York City. NBC News law enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter joins us now. Tom, good to have you here on set. So lay out these accusations for us. What exactly, is being alleged here by the DOJ, and what's the timeline for what's going to happen next?
Right. So the focus of these allegations is a referral from Congress, and it's James Comer, a member of the House. There's a subcommittee on COVID-19 and the response of government to that. In the course of it, they had testimony and received transcribed testimony from Andrew Cuomo, and they asked him about a whole host of issues. Now, you remember, and we've talked about it a lot before, Governor Cuomo and the handling of New York State with nursing home patients that had COVID-19 and deaths that resulted out of this. This has been an ongoing discussion for the last 5 years. It's had a lot of families upset about it. It's been a bipartisan issue. And the focus here is not whether or not that was handled correctly, whether or not Andrew Cuomo, in testifying about that specifically on 3 separate instances during his testimony about a July 6th report about what happened, whether or not, according to Andrew Cuomo in his testimony, he was not read in on that report in advance. He did not provide edits on it. There are emails, and according to Comer's complaint and referral to the Justice Department, those emails say, in fact, that the governor had provided some edits, or here are his edits, according to some of the emails. Now, there is a bit of a hurdle. It's not just that he necessarily said something different from what is out there. They have to prove some intent with respect to the lies, but that's the focus of the investigation, the allegation of lying.
Tom, what's his team saying? Because I know his spokesperson is questioning the timing of all of this.
Well, that's exactly right, Christine. So the spokesperson pointing out, look, this is an administration that all the time talks about lawfare and whether or not there's political interference in the bringing of investigation and charges. The response from Cuomo's camp is, this is a governor who's running for mayor in the city of New York, and now they decide to put this out there. They're questioning that, and they're also saying, look, we offer to go back to Congress and provide updated testimony or to give new information, and so we didn't have an opportunity to do that, and this is something that occurred 4 years in the past. I'll point out that this was originally referred to the Justice Department during the Biden administration, and then there was a follow-up referral to now Attorney General Pam Bondi just in the last couple of weeks. So this issue is something that is fresh for them to review. Whether or not this ends up in charges, obviously, time will tell.
Tom Winter, keep us posted. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.